therapy. And he is author of sensors for wheelchair tennis. Yeah? And in recent years, he has been working on it, including many on sports biomechanics for therapy, especially for disabled. Yeah? And he's going to talk about today, the title is New Advances of Sports for the Disabled. Please give him a round of applause.
Thank you, Professor Ock. Friends, colleagues, I'm very honored to be here. 안녕하십니까? 여기서 만나서 반가워요. So I'm from Taiwan. I believe you is not that familiar with my country, so I'm doing a quick interview here, introduction. So comparatively to China, Taiwan is small, and it's about 2 hours flight away from South Korea. And Taiwan as a small island country, we have pretty large population, so it's somehow crowded. And my concentration used to be in sports medicine, and in about 10 years ago, I switched my focus toward adapted physical education. So please bear with me my slow talk in English, because sport medicine is a area that I'm more familiar with. But now, as an educator, the sentences and statements is some strange to me when I translate it into English. So the place I'm from, the National Taiwan University, we have very good athletes and also beautiful campus. So if you had a chance, please come over. I will give you a very warm welcome. And the topic I have here, the adapted physical education, to many people is a phrase that not very familiar with, because this special area is basically for the special group, people with special need. So these people, they also need a special education class, and the whole idea basically comes from years ago, back to the age before World War II. This picture is taken in 1948, and to memorize that the contribution of Dr. Goodman in England, that with his athletes, they are doing a wheelchair competing track game. So starting with that event, many countries worldwide have started to notice that the need of this group of people. And this also happened in Taiwan. So in 1970, that's the year I was born, in a school, the students' physical education class is more rehabilitation-oriented content. But now, in 2010, in my department, my college student, senior student, they are helping in a local high school special class. The teachers, the students, and also their parents are very happy about the contents my students are providing. So they help in this adaptive physical education class, and everybody is happy because we have very new thinkings and new implements. So this picture is taken in 2015 in a spatial school. So in the class, we use some basic equipment to show these students with mental retardation about what is hockey. So with this kind of new thoughts and implements, the students and the teachers learn a lot. And they will like their new physical education class. This picture was taken in 2020. Again, this young lady, my senior class, my senior student, helping in a local elementary school, a special class. Where in this picture you can see this little girl. For her, the physical education class has nothing she can learn from, because her basically area is just about 30 centimeters away from her hand, and her attention is about in this area. So my students come up with these devices that she made to help she operate, to learn how to manipulate things, and that's the very basic form of physical education, and that's the only thing this little girl can do. So to do a better job for adaptive physical education for this special group of people, we need to think carefully from the population. Because each country has its own characteristics. And in Taiwan, we have around 1.2 million people with disabilities. It's about 5% of the entire country. As we can see here, for percentage, the major percentage is the senior people. And the adaptive physical education classes we are doing for years were basically for the only 4% of people, for people in the school only. So you can see here, this is not right. More attention, more resources need to be moved to the senior people, as well as the general adults. So not only in the school, but outside the school and after graduation, and maybe also when you are retired, you also need a physical education. Physical education classes specially designed for you, for your special need. Because we will get old eventually. Because maybe 30 years later, I will need a crutch, I will need my wheelchair, but I think I will still need a good physical education teacher to teach me how to mostly efficiently keep my health and good quality of life. So lately, for 4 years, Taiwan has launched its new curriculum guidelines for education. It's basically a literacy-oriented pedagogy. So this system has been launched for 4 years in elementary schools and high schools. But 3 years later, when these students graduate from high school and get into the college, we found a problem. The problem is, in a college, physical education teachers don't really teach good adaptive physical education classes. So when these students have good classes in the high school, but when they move on to the college, they feel disappointed. Because the professors or physical education instructors, they are kind of fall behind. They don't really care much as most teachers in the elementary schools and high schools does. So that's what we found. Even in the big event competition games, we have college students, players, athletes, but they don't compete in the right classification classes. So this is a problem we currently encountered, and we will work hard to solve this problem lately. Hopefully, next time when I do my presentation here, I can show you what we have done and got improved. So we start to think how many college age students we have, and count through, we found it's around 16,000 people with special needs in college. And for these students, we need to have good new adaptive physical education classes for them, and based on the new thinking about the literacy-oriented pedagogy. So cognitive, affective, psychomotor skills, and behavior need to be designed into their classes. So this is what we need to tell the physical education instructors in the universities and colleges to improve. So no more old way of teaching, but use the new way of physical education pedagogy. So we work hard to have this college join together to empower them to take the leadership, not just the research, but also more inclusion classes and transition their research fund and also their attention to come up with a team to have this new age of adaptive physical education in the college. So in this picture, what you can see here, this is a college student. He is tall because when he was the little kid, he was okay. He was even an athlete. But at the age of 12, he had a terrible virus infection, which resulted in that his heavy handicap. He has only one leg is strong. His both arms and one leg are pretty bad. The first time we saw this college student, we were kind of in shock too, because he has to stay with his machine, his respiratory assistance machine. So this machine is on his electrical wheelchair, and so not much he can do for sports or physical education class. The most thing he can do is walk. So walk slowly with his electrical devices, and for like a 30 meters or 50 meters the most. And then we had him do new things, including frisbee, baseball, bowling, etc. And then one of my students had brought this thing to him, the leather footwork training. We didn't think how important this thing is at the beginning, but later on, we found that he needs to have more weight transfer between his legs and laterally, and also a forward and back, so he can play better table tennis. So he was pretty much just swing if we give him a good a serving, but at the end he can pretty very well, because with this footwork training, he developed his movement skills very well. So this a very unique case that I'd like to share with you. So never forget to try new things for them. Okay, I think I need to go to my most important concept for you is that adaptive physical education should now expanded to adaptive physical activity. That means we need to incorporate all ages. So not just students in the school, but also the adults and senior people. This worldwide population aging problem happened in my country and also Europe and United States. So don't ever forget these senior people. They also need adaptive physical education classes. And also the technology. Because I do my research basically or mostly on technology development for these people, including ultra game, and using a lot of information technology, so we can improve the game pretty well. Even have some games and entertainment for them to solve, and assistant application that they can run on their cell phones to help them have a better sports performance in boccia. And also tennis and other sports. And we even have this new player stats plan that help them can be like a baseball player, have their own performance card, so they maybe soon enough they can become a professional player, or even that the boccia become their job, their real occupation. And this is a runner who is blind, and we have developed a new rope for them to enjoy, because the rope was pretty bad and dumb, and now with this new fashion design and cooperation, they become very exciting about their new toy in their running. And also with this guiding system from the information technology, and they can run alone without a co-runner. So this is what I'm going to leave you today, that we need to work together, so have new adaptive physical education classes for people really need it, because this is our future together. So work together, we are the future. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ju. Thank you for your presentation. Please give him a big hand for his valuable, insightful presentation. Thank you very much.